I was speaking to a chap from Cartoon Network once, and even with my small publishing house on Nice Entertainment, something we come across is that for some reason in Asia, the Japanese have a monopoly of science fiction, which is quite ridiculous. When you look at the size of Asia, and one kind of like island-like nation up there controls the whole thing. I thought to myself, we had a discussion, we thought, no, we got to try and do something different. And also, we really wanted to see what writers would come up with. And as you'll see in a moment, most of the writers who can't draw wait for a science fiction genre, which we think is the right thing to do. Okay? We'll have a look at this a bit closer later on. But yes, so we had two teams, fantasy and science fiction. What we structured was, we have writing and pencils. We did all the creatives here. So we had two focused writing judges, two judges who split between the two of writing and penciling, and then there were two focused penciling judges. Okay? So that, I think, gives us as broad a spectrum of likes and dislikes as possible. And just to tell you a bit about each judge, the focused writing judges is Wei Meihan, who I mentioned earlier. She's the vice president of ACAS. She's written a diverse number of publications, from comics to graphic novels, women's magazines, everything. Even some erotica, I believe. And she's also done some award-winning writing. And she used to be the head of the English magazine section at Books Kinokuniya. Okay? Then there's Eugene Tay, who was the guest judge who just walked in. He's a pioneer in youth creative writing initiatives. Okay? He has a company called Monsters Under the Bed, and he does a lot of tuition of young writing, a lot of different initiatives. And he's just embarking on Singapore's first ever board game as well. Okay? Teamed up with the Heritage Board to do that. So these were our two specialist writing judges. Then the writing and penciling judges was Johnny Lau, who you might know from the Mr. Kiasu concept. Yeah? He's involved in a lot of publishing across the world at the moment, and he's actually, if I'm not mistaken, he has the rights to Bubblegum Crisis as a movie, and it's just going through the paces in Hollywood. And he just also published a Six Nation graphic anthology called Go Go. I think we have some copies over here. It's basically, he brought in 6 creators from 6 different countries around the world, and they had to produce a story within, I think it was 3 days or something like that. And then after editing, that was the finished result there. And that's doing quite well in Europe, as I understand. Then it's me, okay? They won't know what me. It's more pretty. Briefly, I've been in publishing since about 2002, with various different kinds of books and comics. I spent most of my time in advertising, but I don't like advertising, to be honest. The money was quite good, but when the money started to dry up, no point in staying in that, so I'd rather make some money doing something like comics. Then penciling, the judges, JDC Amani Chuimi, okay, Just Draw Comics Amani. He has drawn a number of books in Singapore, and he actually illustrated 2 quite well-selling books for Asian publishers, the Limbo Sing and Sir Stamford Raffles books. Okay, he was the illustrator there. He's also the senior instructor for ACAS. He compiled the advanced course notes. He's the assistant secretary for ACAS. And one of his first books is in your goodie bag, actually, called Mainstream. Actually, how old is that book? I think so. 10 years ago. That means he's no spring chicken. Then the other penciling judge was Zaki. Well, I have to tell you, Zaki was extremely stingy with his marking. I don't think anyone got over 80 points out of 100. That is the most brutal marking I've ever seen in my life. He's had quite an accomplished career in illustration, ranging from comics and animation, a lot of storyboarding for films, and even gaming concepts. He's been an ACAS treasurer for 2 years. So if we end up like NKF, you know who calls them. very, very good, thank you. And I think it's true to say that at least 50 to 75% of any of the animation concepts that come out of Singapore, at some point, Zaki was probably connected to it. At some level. I think it's probably true to say that. Or many that's like, had some good financing and made it out of the country. So that's the judges. So how did we mark you guys, okay? Now for a writer-creator, the first thing was originality. That took 50% of the marks, okay? So it marks off 50 for originality. Then it was storytelling, took 20, characterizations took 20, and grammar took 10. Now, I'm from England, and we're very stringent about grammar, but not that stringent. I think it's only fair that an editor can fix grammar, but an editor shouldn't fix a lousy concept, okay? So, but of course, if your grammar is perfect, it's less work for us. So we're just going along. Then there's penciling creator, okay? What we looked at for penciling is anatomy, perspective, both 25%, all four categories actually for penciling is 25%, yeah? Then storytelling, okay? How we move from panel to panel, we'll look at a bit of that later on. And consistency, okay? One of the hardest things to do for an artist is to draw a character, and the character looks the same all the time, okay? Okay, special note here. The ultimate aim was to find those names that appeared in both top 5 selections of the Writer Creator and Penciler Creator scorecards. You'll see later on that some Penciler creators were beaten by Writer creators. But it's as level a playing field as we can make, where everyone gets a chance to fight their corner. But of course, if you get a person who can draw, and the writing judges thought this person was also very good, you have to concede that that person is very gifted. Now at Inca, we look at line work, consistency, and black spotting, okay? Now black spotting is a bit dodgy, because a lot of art styles don't really require it that much. It's a very Western kind of thing. So you have to look at a person's art style and judge accordingly. Then we get colorist, okay? We look at depth of separation, or tonalist, sorry, great tone, yeah. Depth of separation to 50% of the marks, and consistency. We had some nice submissions in, but from page to page, sometimes the standard of tone lane wasn't quite as sharp. Then lettering, we look at the typography and the balloon placement, okay? And for page makeup artists, we look for final panel positioning in the center of the page and the horizontal axis. Personally, I've received a lot of artwork where people have not straightened the page or haven't made sure that lines are straight on borders, okay?